show me some action instead of just showing me a disclaimer in front of a show. Or move that show. Show me how much you don't mind taking a hit of your money if you really, really are worried about people that much. Okay, this is a light discussion. Then we're gonna get out of here. It's a very light discussion. Just wanted to get the opinions of people here. We just finished our discussion of Obi-Wan.
Stay hidden.
And very excited watching Luke over there.
Too excited.
Yeah, so when Obi-Wan premiered, now I didn't see it. Did you see a disclaimer at the beginning?
No.
Saying, in light of the tragedy that just happened, parental discretion is advised, or whatever. So I just saw an article here, and it was given to me by Nick Diaz. And it says that Disney Plus adds warning label to Obi-Wan Kenobi following Uvalde school shooting. It says here that Disney Plus is the latest streaming service to add a warning label to some of its content in the wake of a mass shooting at a Texas elementary school. I'm looking at this on NBC News. The company added a message to its new television series, Obi-Wan Kenobi. According to several media outlets, including The Hollywood Reporter and Deadline, the message reads, although this fictional series is a continuation of the story from Star Wars, filmed many years ago, some scenes may be upsetting to viewers in light of the recent tragic events. Warning, contains violence involving children. Now, I think they did the same thing with this show right here.
Ever since you left, everything's been a total disaster.
And that is Stranger Things, which that's a hell of a disaster because that opens up killing kids. Man, they kill kids horribly in that show.
The first episode alone.
First episode, and I remember you and I talking. We were saying, okay, this might be some bad timing, but they put it out there and then they put the disclaimer on there. So, I was just going to ask people how they felt about this, considering that these are works of fiction. And I think it might be more necessary for something like Stranger Things because Stranger Things is set on Earth. You actually see kids. You actually see kids being mangled and bent apart and killed in horrible ways. I mean, I'm not, teenagers, we're used to seeing teenagers die. So, but, in slasher movies and whatnot. But there are some little kids that got blown up in this.
Yep.
For that, I could see it maybe. For Star Wars, well, listen, I'll just say this, and I'm going to pass it on to people. I think that is considerate. I think it's nice to show you care. I think it's also a way of covering their asses right here. Is it necessary? I think it's nice to say, but 100% absolutely necessary? I don't think so because I don't want people to get distracted by the fictitious story being told when I'm more offended by seeing not a fictional show having to apologize. I'm more upset about seeing stuff that's happening right here on Earth in real life where we have lies and we have greed and we have inaction covering up what's going on with all the violence that we've seen. I'm more upset by that. I wish I could get an apology and better yet, some action done on that. So I ain't worried about Star Wars. I ain't worried about Stranger Things. Good for the people that need to be consoled when watching this. I can understand that. Because you're always going to have somebody. Martin and I were talking about this one time, like after this is a long time ago, after 9/11, it was a year or so after 9/11, when the Powerpuff Girls movie came out, and so one critic complained, should we really be seeing buildings falling apart at this moment? It's just like, Jesus. So yeah, there's always somebody that needs to be consoled in here and doesn't want to see this yet. So I understand. But man, I'm way more offended by what I see in real life than what I see here, from so many so-called news sources. But anyway, that's just me.
I'll just say neither Netflix nor Disney, they're not obligated to put up those disclaimers at all. It's literally a show about a space wizard with a laser sword, and it's another show about a bunch of teenagers fighting a hentai creature. It's like it's fictitious. It's fantasy. That's what it should be. That's how it should be interpreted as. What often happens in light of tragic events is that you have leaders and pundits and talking heads on TV, and they want to blame something. And the easiest thing to blame is media. It's TV shows, it's movies, it's video games, it's books, it's comics. Because actually dealing with the things that are actually causing these things, whether it be mental illness or these weapons of war that are freely available, that's really hard. And I understand that's really hard. But what Disney and what Netflix are doing is like we know we're going to be blamed for the most recent tragic event, so they're covering their ass. I mean, that's what it is. But they don't even. I wouldn't even do it. Be like, no, it's a TV show. Get over yourselves.
And here's the other thing: it ain't gonna stop you from making more. You're gonna keep doing it. I mean, it's not like you're gonna what you gonna do? You gonna remove the guns from these things?
Don't do an ET. Don't do an ET.
Don't do it. No, you're not. And and actually nobody wants that. I don't think you're obligated to do anything really. Like I said, I agree with you, man. There's so many. They're just covering their ass from people who want to deflect from the real issues and blame something besides the obvious. Video games gonna be up there too at some point.
Oh yeah.
Covering their ass aside, there is a thing of letting people know what they are getting into. This tragedy being just on top of the shooting of Buffalo, this has hit people a lot harder. And yes, putting a disclaimer is not going to stop it. That's not going to affect anything. Yes, I'd much rather see real solutions. But I can honestly say, watching those scenes and both of those things, they kind of hit me in that way. I did have that twinge of equating it, which with Stranger Things, it's pretty brutal, as we said,
sure.
and it deals with kids who are in at least our world. But the thing about the Obi-Wan scene was, even watching that, I was like, these are little kids in school where somebody comes in to assassinate them, and I was like, look, I'm not one to normally, usually with trigger warnings, I'm like, oh, just, it's always there and just get over it. But I was like, maybe you just, seeing that could be enough to go like, you know what? I'm not ready for this right now. I don't know what they're going to do, but right now, I'm not ready for it. I can come back to it later, but since they have given me a warning, I know I can put this off till later, or just choose not to watch it, as opposed to going into what you think is just going to be a fun escapist show and have this thrown in your face. So whether it's to cover their ass or not, I think it's a good thing to do.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's bad. But I don't think like I said, I don't. I think it's pretty obvious that this is something where they are ready for the criticisms. They're ready for the blame game. And like I said, it'd be one thing. Y'all didn't pull it. Is what I'm saying. You didn't stop to releasing it at this time. This moment, you still put it out there. So I don't think that it was 100% out of concern for the victims. I do think there is something in there. Also, this is Star Wars. And this is Stranger Things. Anybody's getting into it know what they're getting into. But at the same time, I agree with you. I don't think it's a bad thing to put it out there. Yeah. It ain't hurting nobody.
It's not. Like I said, you see that, you can decide for yourself. You're like, I'm not ready for this right now.
I don't like lip service with corporations. What are you going to actually do to help some of these things? Because some of these people who are actually giving the lip service to these to these causes right here and trying to apologize, they still support outlets and whatnot that actually, they support people that don't do anything and actually lend to the problem. So I think that's where my problem comes in. I don't mind if you put up a disclaimer, but do something else. If you really care that much, you can stop covering your ass and do something that really shows. Because what I have a problem with, it happens all the time. When Black Lives Matter happened, how many corporations were on board with that until it became either inconvenient, or it's like, okay, these Negroes done yet? All right, cool, let's move on. Words don't mean too much to me today. That's what the problem is. I don't give a about words anymore. I really don't. I don't care about your claimers, your apologies, your prayers, your good wishes. I don't give a shit anymore. Do something. Corporations got all the money in the world to help influence something. So instead of worrying about your shows, why don't we actually, you're worried about harming kids and families by showing them something. Why don't you contribute to something that actually will help deter actual violence against kids and families out there? You know, that's what really bothers me with words. I mean, I think that's what, 'cause I was trying to figure out because it's not hurting anybody. What's bothering me about this? And it's just that I don't trust corporations when they do shit like this. I'm that jaded right now. I am that person. I'm that asshole right now that when I look at something even that's well-meaning, I'm like, what are you really doing though? You know, what are you doing to stop misinformation? What are you doing to actually help lobbyists who are trying to like stop the violence that we see, instead of the lobbyists who are out there contributing to it and lining their pockets? You know, show me some action instead of just showing me a disclaimer in front of a show. Or move that show. Show me how much you don't mind taking a hit of your money if you really, really are worried about people that much being, being distraught about seeing this. You know, disclaimer's fine, but I'm just sick of words from everybody. I think that's what it is with me. I don't want to be down, I don't want to be a buzzkill or a downer right now, but we all at a point where we need to see people take action against something. There are people out there with more money on this planet than anything. You know, they have influence, major influence, and they ain't doing shit about it. So yeah, show me something, man. Don't tell me something, show me something. You can tell me something if it helps, but don't, also back it up. Anyway, I'm going off. I'm like, man, why'd you bring this shit up? You knew you were just going to get mad.
And one more thing.
And another thing. Oh, well, that's it. That's it. Hey, everyone, support our Patreon, which helps us to continue bringing you our live streams, videos, and podcasts while bringing you new content such as exclusive live streams and animated shorts.